After I'd tweeted my accusation towards Sam Seder in the Majority Report, I was met with a flurry of comments along the lines of, listen, I'm a fan of UBI, but just not Yang's, and he has to be a Trojan horse libertarian because you can't explain why he doesn't just let X or Y welfare programs stack with the freedom dividend. As I've given this line of reasoning some thought, what I've quickly understood is that Bernie Sanders must be trying to dismantle the welfare state as well if we're to believe this argument. Between Yang and Sanders, we have two different solutions for how to address the ways in which AI, machine learning, and globalization are affecting labor and work and employment overall. With Yang, the solution is to decouple work and survival by providing an income floor that no one can fall below. What this means is that the current 77 out of 100 people that are living in poverty right now without any help from the safety net would be lifted to a basic standard of a living of $1,000 a month. Not only that, anyone receiving a minimum wage of $7.25 per hour right now would be lifted to effectively a $15 an hour minimum wage. But not only that, anyone making a $15 an hour wage right now would also see $1,000 more a month. This is a very good way of getting around that problematic discussion of, wait, I've worked so many years to get to $15 an hour and now everyone just gets to skip those steps. It does suck that the poor continue to fight amongst each other while the wealthy make trillions, but the UBI is a very pragmatic way of getting around that entire problem. On the other hand, with Bernie, the solution is that we need to implement a $15 an hour minimum wage and also a federal jobs guarantee, or FJG for short. Now, the FJG seems to be used as a solution to solve the increasing precariousness of work because if you ever lose your job, the FJG is there. But here's the inherent problem that I have with this. I keep on hearing that Yang is a neoliberal, libertarian Trojan horse designed to reduce the welfare state because as people get better off with a universal basic income, the existing programs decrease. However, that's the same thing that's going to happen with a federal jobs guarantee. The issue with means-tested welfare is that as you earn more money, there's a clawback associated with the benefits you receive. There's been plenty of studies done that show the psychological effect of working harder, working longer, getting a $1 raise and seeing that you're actually getting 50 or 25 cents instead because the benefits that you've been receiving are being reduced over time. So my question to Sanders supporters is this. When I say that there's 23 out of 100 people that are in poverty getting help from the safety net, and I say that many of them would be significantly better off with a UBI, the response I get is even if they are better off, they should be able to keep their welfare benefits too, and it's not worth discussing this at all unless that's the case. Why aren't you saying the same thing about Bernie's minimum wage hike or his federal jobs guarantee? I could just say, hey, even if they are making $15 an hour, because they don't continue to receive their welfare benefits, this isn't a conversation that we should even be having. And yes, I've looked at Bernie's proposals and nowhere do I see on his webpage of 24 policies compared to Yang's over 100 policies that existing benefits will stack with a federal jobs guarantee or a minimum wage hike, except for the specific inclusion of SSDI benefits, but SSDI benefits and a freedom dividend stack as well, and only under Yang's plan will you continue to get $1,000 as you go through the process of qualifying for SSDI benefits. The really ironic thing here is that Sanders supporters keep asking for something that is universal, something that's not going to exclude people. But the problem is that our existing welfare safety net is designed to means test, to test people, and if you're above those means, exclude them. If you have a system that's designed to exclude people, you will always have people excluded. This is why I am in favor of Andrew Yang's universal basic income versus anything that any other candidate has to offer. Because we now know for a fact that 77 out of 100 people in need right now missed by our existing safety net will be helped. They will be lifted to a basic standard of living. And of the 23 that are lucky enough to be helped right now, many of them would be better off under a universal basic income. There's not a single individual that would be worse off unless they took the UBI and somehow decided they needed their benefits instead, and they can always return to those because he is not dismantling our existing safety net. And if you continue to assert that he is, then you should be able to make that same assertion towards Bernie Sanders himself. Only with Bernie Sanders, we can't say the same about those 77 people in need. How many of them have invisible disabilities? What you're telling them is to go get a job, a federally mandated job. That's what we tell them right now, and it's cruel and inhumane to continue to exploit the poorest people in our country because they're desperate and they need money, and you're telling them to go work. We need a system that doesn't fail anyone. Andrew Yang's system is that system. Bernie Sanders will continue to fail us. Thank you for watching my video. I'm currently trying to crowdfund my own universal basic income to hopefully show what financial security looks like and a basic standard of living. If you have it within you to maybe buy me a cup of coffee, my Patreon link is in the channel's description below. But if you don't have it within you, if the scarcity mindset is affecting you as well, then just subscribing to my channel, liking it, and sharing it is more than enough.